The World Heritage Committee has rejected a review into Japan's commitment to the disclosure of accurate historical records at its UNESCO-listed industrial sites where many Koreans were forced into wartime labor. Our Foreign Affairs correspondent Oh Soo-young reports.
South Korea has voiced strong regret after a UNESCO committee rejected its proposal to review Japan's handling of wartime forced labor sites, including Hashima Coal Mine near Nagasaki. On Monday's annual session of the UNESCO World Heritage Committee in Paris, South Korea proposed a formal agenda to assess whether Japan had fulfilled its 2015 promise to acknowledge the use of Korean forced labor at its Meiji-era industrial sites. But Japan submitted a counterproposal to delete the item, which was passed with 7 votes in favour, 3 opposing and 8 abstentions. The 21-member committee allows motions to pass with just 6 votes in favour. In 2015, Japan pledged to take steps to present the full historical context of 23 industrial sites, including forced labour under its colonial rule, as a condition for having them listed as UNESCO World Heritage Sites. However, Tokyo has failed to follow through on this pledge. Japan placed the Industrial Heritage Information Center in Tokyo, not Nagasaki, and failed to mention forced mobilization or discrimination against Korean laborers. This year, Nagasaki produced a virtual reality video to mark the 10th anniversary of the site's listing, but again omitted the history of forced labor, prompting further criticism. Some 57,900 Koreans were forced to work at 7 of Japan's registered sites during its colonial rule of Korea in the early 20th century. In 2021, UNESCO adopted a decision expressing strong regret over Japan's inadequate follow-up and urged it to uphold its commitment. 2 years later, the committee called on Japan to consult with concerned countries and produce new and enhanced measures on historical interpretation for review by December 2024. However, Tokyo decided to file an update instead of a proper report, which would be subject to a committee review. The World Heritage Committee has reviewed Japan's industrial sites every 2 to 3 years through progress reports. Thus, South Korea has stressed UNESCO has a duty to monitor implementation of its decisions. All member states under the World Heritage Convention have the right to raise concerns and request formal reviews. Japan pays the 3rd largest amount of contributions to UNESCO's annual budget. Observers say this boosts its influence within the organization. South Korea says it will keep urging Tokyo to fulfill its international commitments while working to build forward-looking cooperation based on mutual trust. Oh Soo-young, Arirang News.